this flag, this beautiful flag. They tell me that the green is for the vegetation and for the crops. I don't see any crops in my country. Anzi the yellow is for all the minerals. Goride, diamonds, platinum, chrome. I don't know how much of it is left, and I don't know who they sold it to and how much they got for it. The red, they say that is the blood that was shed to secure freedom for me, and I'm so thankful for that. I just don't know if that they were here, they that shed their blood and saw the way this country is, that they would demand their blood be brought back. This flag. They tell me that the black is for the majority, people like me. And yet for some reason I don't feel like I am a part of it. I look at it sometimes and I wonder, is this a story of my future, or is it just a reminder of a sad past? And wherever I go and I put on the colors of Zimbabwe, they look at me, and as if they want to laugh, they ask me, "Are you from Zimbabwe?" Vachiseka. And sometimes when I look at the flag, it's not a reminder of my pride and inspiration. It feels as if I just want to belong to another country. This flag.
Now, that's just part of the video. The full video is available online. Now, Pastor Evan Mawarire joins me in studio tonight. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network, sir.
Thank you very much for having me on your show, Aspumelele.
Now, why did you decide to use social media to share that video?
You know, it's for my generation, it's a very natural way of connecting and communicating. And, you know, it's a place where I felt that I would be able to genuinely talk to people that care about my generation, that care about the kinds of things that we're facing. I mean, because for me, I was talking to my circle of friends. You know, so it's the most genuine way, you know, in these days, in my generation, for us to communicate and to talk. So it was very easy to do it, you know, to do it like that.
Did you realize it would result in the hashtag This Flag and its popularity and the conversations as it's actually started?
Absolutely not. You know, we call it the accidental movement or the accidental campaign. And had no idea that it would grow to what it is now. It has inspired, you know, people to rise up and stand up in the United Kingdom, in Canada, in Australia, here in South Africa. And it's amazing to see how far it has reached.
When you read some of the messages that are coming out of that conversation with people using hashtag This Flag, what goes through your mind?
I think it's humbling, first and foremost, to see that people would identify with what I said. But what is exciting is that it reveals what is in the hearts of people. The fact that Zimbabweans have had something in them for such a long time, but have had, you know, no ways of expressing it and expressing it in a united way. And that's what social media has given us, a place where we can be not only connected, but also be united.
And I suppose social media is part of that bigger narrative for the struggle of Zimbabweans. And what actually is that struggle that you're fighting for now? I
think, you know, the struggle that we are fighting for, it's the citizens' cry for their government to listen to the genuine ills and pressures that we face on the ground. And government doesn't seem to listen or hear that. And I think doing it on social media proves to us that they don't take people seriously when they talk on social media. And maybe it's because maybe in their minds they think it's a platform where people play games and you know they just talk things that are social. But for my generation and the citizenry today, it is a place where we actually are talking life, where we're doing life. When we are on social media, it's a virtual reality, but that is actually a real reality for us. And so I think this is what we've been communicating, that look, we have certain things on the ground that need attention. And if the government won't listen to us, then maybe we talk to each other, you know, and start to come up with solutions.
And you were arrested for this? Could you just tell us about the events leading up to that arrest and actually what happened after that arrest?
Well, what I did is that I began a campaign on the 1st of May. It had kind of developed since the posting of the video that you just showed. And from the 1st to the 25th of May, I encouraged Zimbabweans to carry their Zimbabwe national flag as a way of protesting against the corruption, injustice, and poverty in Zimbabwe. And all I said was carry your flag with you every single day as you go to work. Don't march, don't chant, just go to work with your flag. It'll send the message. But every day what I did is that I would post a 2 or 3 minute video every day for 25 days. And the video was to encourage, the video was to bring focus and bring clarity to why it's important for citizens to stand up and to rise up in terms of being able to protest peacefully and constitutionally. So that gained a lot of traction up until the day that we were able to call a stay away, or what we called Shutdown Zimbabwe at the time. And that worked in conjunction with many other bodies and movements in Zimbabwe. And so that was a very successful shutdown on the 6th of July. And so, of course, I was called in for questioning. There had been some violence in other areas that had taken place, which, of course, we had not instigated ourselves. And that became the basis for my arrest, which was inciting public violence. That charge eventually escalated very quickly and dramatically in the middle of court, literally, to subverting a constitutionally elected government, which essentially is treason. So that's how that occurred. And I mean, it was about almost 48 hours, but amazing how that grew.
How were you treated in those 48 hours?
Well, the treatment when you're accused in Zimbabwe is almost as if you are, you're guilty. I remember, when the police took me in, they demanded that they would search my house. They obtained a warrant for it, and immediately I was put in handcuffs and taken to my house. In handcuffs. I actually remember trying to make sure that my kids were not there at the house, as I came through. And a very kind of demeaning process. But on the whole, I must say that I was not abused physically, in terms of being beaten. I was handled well, except for, the cells, in Zimbabwe, particularly the police cells, which are just a deplorable state for any human being to be in.
All right. How do you think the Zimbabwean government views the use of social media? Now, we do know that Patras, for example, has issued a warning, pretty much a threat about the use of social media in Zimbabwe.
I think our government in Zimbabwe doesn't understand that social media is actually a means by which other nations are building their own progress or their own nations. And this is what we are trying to do in Zimbabwe as a generation on social media to build our nation. And there's a couple of things that our government cannot run away from. Number one is globalization. Number two is the internet. Number three is technology. Number four is miniaturization. These things are driving economies. And the more our government tries to constrict or shut down, social media or the internet, the more they actually shut down the progress of the country. Because remember, we live in a generation now where we share ideas very quickly. In times past, if I had an idea, I had to write to my government, and my government would write to the government next door. Then they would set up a bilateral meeting and agreements. Today, it happens in a matter of...
Technology makes it possible to happen.
We share ideas and information quickly and in huge volumes.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have run out of time. Thank you very much for joining us and being a part of our network, Pastor Evan Mawarire.
Thank you very much, Spimelela. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.